City on a Hill Kids Church Online.
I'm Lola.
I'm Jamie.
Today we're going to be talking about trusting God with all our heart. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, "Trust God with all your heart and never rely on what you think you know. Remember the Lord in everything you do, and He will show you the right way." Proverbs 3:5-6.
God always comes through for you, even in difficult times.
That is right. Today we're going to be looking at the story of David and Goliath. David, when he was younger, fought a giant named Goliath. He was over 9 feet tall.
That's more than most doorways, which are only 8 foot high.
That's right. But David was discouraged by his older brother and the then king of Israel.
Israel's where David came from.
Get ready to hear this story after this game. After that, we will have Natalie with the craft.
In this game, we have to see how many balloons we can pop with a Nerf gun.
Hi kids! So today's craft is a little bit more tricky than the last one, but I am sure that you're going to be able to do it. First of all, what you need to do is get yourself a piece of paper or card and just fold it in half. So far, so good. Well done. Next, what you want to do is draw on your bit of paper the outline of a bag, and this is to keep the stones in, like David's shepherd's pouch, and 5 stones, because David picked up 5 stones when he was fighting Goliath. Okay, now that you've done your outlines, what you need to do is colour it in. So I've coloured in my bag and I've coloured in the stones, and I've also written, "The battle is the Lord's." And that's from the Bible. That's from Samuel, 1 Samuel 17, verse 46. Now, next what you're going to want to do is take your scissors and carefully cut all of those out. Now, the stones, you just need them one-sided, but with the bag, if you cut it so that it's got both sides cut out, because what you're going to do is, when you've got it cut out like that and it folds in half, you take your glue and you put it just along one of the edges, and that way when you've got your stones cut out, you'll be able to put them in the bag and when you're ready for battle and you think, "Oh, I've got to fight," so you then take your stones out of the bag and put them in the right order. There is battle? No, that's not right. The battle is the Lord's. That's how it goes. Okay, guys, I hope you have fun making this craft as well, and I'll see you next time. Bye!
In Israel, there was a boy called David. He was the youngest of 8 brothers, and he used to take care of his daddy's sheep in the hills and in the fields. He was what you call a shepherd. In those days, there were this group of people called the Philistines, And they didn't like the Israelites very much, and they were causing a lot of trouble for the Israelites, and decided that they wanted to fight Israel. So the two armies, the army of Israel and the army of the Philistines, they came together and they were fighting. One day, David's dad asked David to go to the battlefield with some food and also to find out how his three brothers were doing. So David left the sheep with someone else to look after. When he got there, he handed the food over to the person who keeps the food and ran down to the battle line to see his brothers to find out how they were getting on. And then he saw a huge person walk onto the battlefield in between the two armies. This man was more than 9 feet tall. He had on his head a huge helmet. His armor was huge. His sword was huge. His spear was huge. Everything was huge. This man, his name was Goliath. And David asked lots of questions, and he found out that for 40 days, this man would come out in the morning and he will taunt the children of Israel. Then David's big brother came to David very, very angrily and asked him, "What are you doing here? You're supposed to be looking after our daddy's sheep. Who did you leave those sheep for?" And David said, "I was just asking a question. What have I done wrong?" Anyway, David continued to ask questions. And he said, "I will fight this giant and I will defeat him." So someone went and told the king. And the king sent for David. When David got there, the king said, "You are just a little boy. You haven't fought in a war before. How do you think that you would be able to fight the giant?" But the king was scared too, and he needed somebody to defeat the giant. So David assured the king that God has used him to fight off lions and fight off bears to protect his father's sheep. So God would also use him to defeat Goliath. Okay, as I said, the king needed somebody to defeat Goliath. So he put his helmet on David, and then he put his armor on David. Then he gave David his big sword to carry. And David tried to walk, and David couldn't. So David said, "Oh, no, this isn't going to work." So he said that he's going to go in his normal clothes, and that's what David did. David went in his normal clothes, picked up his stick, went to the stream, picked out 5 pebbles, put it into his pouch, because he was going to use it for his slingshot later. David now went to the battlefield to meet Goliath. When Goliath got close to David, he saw that David was a little boy, and he was really angry. How dare these Israelites send out a little boy to fight him? So he asked David, "What are you going to do with that stick? Do you think I'm a dog? Come here, and I will give your body to the birds in the air and to the animals." David said, "You come against me with sword and spear, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the Israelite army. And he is going to put you in my power today, and I am going to defeat you." Goliath walked towards David, and David quickly ran. As he ran, he put a stone into his slingshot and swung it towards the Goliath. The stone hit Goliath between the eyes, and Goliath fell forward, flat on his face. David had defeated Goliath, and the Philistines, they were so shocked to find that their champion had been defeated, and they turned around and ran away. So David did defeat Goliath because God helped him. So you see, even though David was very young and he didn't have everything that he needed to defeat Goliath, he put his trust in God, and God helped him to defeat Goliath, just as he did when he used him to defeat the lions and the bears so that he could save his father's sheep. That's why you must trust God with all your heart. He will always come through for you.
Right. Let's enjoy some worship.
Lord, you are my defender. Whenever trouble comes, I sing to you, my King, and shout of what you've done. Lord, you are my protector. You will never leave. I trust you, Lord. I am sure you will rescue me. Save me, save me, Jesus, you will rescue me. I've got no need to fear, knowing you're right here. Save me, Jesus, you will rescue me. Lord, you are the 911 in my heart. Lord, you are my defender. Whenever trouble comes, I sing to you, my King, and shout of what you've done. Lord, you are my protector. You will never leave. I trust you, Lord. I am sure you will rescue me. Save me, Jesus, you will rescue me. I've got no need to fear, knowing you're right here. Save me, Jesus, you will rescue me. Lord, you are the 911 of my heart. So save me, Jesus, you will rescue me. I've got no need to fear, knowing you're right here. Come on, save me, Jesus, you will rescue me. Lord, you are the 911 of my heart. Lord, you are the 911 of my heart.
That was a good story.
Yes.
Remember, trust God with all your heart.
Never rely on what you think you know.
Remember the Lord in everything you do, and He will lead you the right way.
Till next time.
Bye!